Morning, May 1st, 2015. Always gotta say, go Seahawks here lately. I got a wardrobe, basically, all my clothes are basically Seattle Seahawks stuff. I mean, you have other stuff, but it's more convenient to grab something like this and put it on. That's why I always wear it. So, people know that, this is solely just the opinion of my own. It's not anything to do with the Seattle Seahawks or anything like that. Not right now at this moment. I do a little bit of um, sports journalism. I'm into it a little bit, but I've slowed down a bit. I'm trying to do political sense, try to shake the nonsense out of society. It's been this ridiculousness that's been going on since, I don't want to say the guy's name since our president's been in there. The one that basically you're forced to have because they vote for him or whatever. Somehow you're stuck with him. You can't impeach him or move him or try him for treason, no matter how um, badly he operates for the country and continues to uh, plead why he's doing all this. Now he probably just gets to a point where he doesn't even think he has to really explain why he is for terrorists so much. And I think that some people would say, and they would just pop off by not really hearing that from somebody necessarily directly, but they would say that they think that if Democrats extend their hand, it's a way to get peace, but they're not going to say to anybody who's rational, who's gonna have any kind of common sense. Um, it's like saying, do you think our terrorist enemies make any sense? Do they have enough sense? Should they be given rights? So you got a lot of nonsense in our government, uh, in particular, uh, for giving terrorist rights, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. The guy's been for shutting down Guantanamo Bay, and for whatever reason, um, he's for what they do to America and to Americans. So he's for them being successful militarily, and uh, when we're at war with other people, he would prefer them to be successful. So that's where I see he's frustrated because he can't get it all completely his way. If he could get it his way, he would have um, all the terrorists probably free. Because Bill Clinton, if you go back to Bill Clinton, he actually made sure, worked tirelessly, like I said before, to make sure every single terrorist that bombed the World Trade Center the first time in '93, I believe, he made sure, he vowed to make sure that they all went free. All the terrorists that bombed the coal, nothing happened to them. He was president whenever they're screwing up the. See, this is what going back to Jimmy Carter, what he did to the military that was bad. He didn't let the military run the way they were supposed to run. So you had a Air Force guy who was in charge of um, a like a American commando squad that was supposed to go in and save these people, and it was a huge disaster. And a lot of it is because um, liberals think that something should be a certain way, and it backfires every time. So Bill Clinton did the same thing, and it was almost as if they intended the enemy to get away with it, them to have abilities because they think they owe it to America. America's owed something destructive, the continual destruction of property and the military boats and ships, uh, just things like that in general. So they start right off the bat with arguing that terrorists should have rights. They shouldn't be interrogated. They shouldn't be tortured to get, and I was like saying, a big argument that I have for torturing terrorists is they torture any of us for information if they thought we had it, and they would cut our heads off on YouTube, on here, and do a lot of medieval stuff. But we're not allowed to practice that with people, and then they say the Geneva Convention had something to do with it, and these people did not sign any forms at the Geneva Convention to keep America from doing that to them, from having torturing these people. They're not protected by any way, by any law, but yet liberals will still argue for them and say they're protected and that there's laws that that mean and matter to them. One of the most recent things that happened, I've seen it on the Citizens Watch or something like that. It said that the Obama administration released a terrorist recently, and they sent him to Canada. And the judge, I'm gonna tie this all together because I'll explain how it's really nonsense to say that terrorists have rights, any legal rights. They're enemy combat, so the military really takes care of all of that in particular too. But I'll show you. Stay. There's a way I can prove what I'm talking about is so when the terrorists got released, they went to Canada. The judge up there had to release the guy, and it's because he didn't have any constitutional rights to hold the guy in jail. So he had to release him until. So I don't even know that they even have the right to put him on trial then in that for that case. But they released him, a Canadian terrorist. He murdered a army sergeant. Been in there for about 10 years ago, but we're talking about people that should be in prison for life. Some of them that they're trying to release and do deals with got death penalties, and they're still awaiting their death sentence. So if it's all conducted and taken care of by the military like it's supposed to, they would have been already deceased by now. But here we have some people here fighting to close Guantanamo Bay and fighting for terrorist rights, putting them back out on the line to fight us. So there's a huge amount margin that go back when they're released this way. They go right back to being terrorists. So I don't understand, um, you know, why they keep doing it. But this guy will keep doing it all the way, no matter how bad it is for us, no matter if we lose the war, no matter if we all get killed, nuked by Iran, or get all our heads cut off by ISIS or whatever, this guy won't stop taking our rights away and our protection away from us. But yet he wants to give terrorist rights. So, I mean, it's really striking and daunting to have a president that would do that. If any of us would be doing something like that, they would strike up. They would already have our arrest warrants and everything all freaking signed and ready to go, and we'd probably get the death penalty for what Obama's been doing. And uh, people. People are so lax they let him get away with it. So instead of ripping all of his power away and rendering him powerless, because terrorist thing, giving terrorist rights is definitely one proven fact that what he's doing is wrong. And up to this point, you got all these different medias. I'll explain the media thing. Bill O'Reilly did this, where he was kissing Obama's butt and was sucking up to the guy. And the reason why was so that he could get interviewed. He could get more stories and more uh, input from him. He wanted to sit down for an interview with Obama so he could rip Obama's lips off. And he did. But he said some stuff like George Bush spent way more money as president on lavish things than Obama did, and everybody knew that was that's a hoax because both of those people are known for taking off with both uh, different flights, which go basically at the same time anyway, but they go to various different directions, so they have to split all this up. I'm pretty sure that they've spent they've spent way more money and wasted more money as far as being liberal. Also, in the liberal sense, that means being very charitable. People want to try to act like it's not true, but you want to be charitable with this guy's money. Like if they could, anything I rate, if I rate $100,000 for this video, they would want to strip that money and take it and use it for their own liberal cause. And if they made $100,000, they'd want to be able to try to keep it somehow or use it in their um, campaign or whatever. They're real greedy. They're taught to be real greedy with other people's stuff and with America in particular. So with that, then you also have a guy who's very uh, terrorist friendly, like almost like he's one of the terrorists. So um, who gives terrorists rights? And up to this point, now you have the stupid liberal media was arguing for the pig for so long, just so that they can get cover story after cover story from the guy. A lot of the time, some of them are really probably ruthless liberal pukes that really don't give a crap. Um, but now it's got to the point where everybody can obviously see 8 years of this has been most destructive. All his arguments that he made really are redundant. People look really, really very complacent and very unintelligent when it comes to politics at this point. When it comes to this Obama and defending him up to this point in the economy, with him becoming president basically by arguing all of the money that George Bush spent. So that was one of his arguments, and now here we are, going to be a complete 8 years, right? Because they didn't find a way to impeach him, render him powerless, stop him at least from doing stupid stuff, right? Um, up to this point, we're catering to our enemy. We're putting them back on the field to be more ready and destined to take out our military. So, anyhow, so around espionage too. I was gonna say if he used the NSA, I'm going with this a little bit. If he would have that turned around, and was using it right, they could get cyber bullies, hackers, people who steal people's personal information and whatnot, hackers. But instead, they'd rather be they're sickos. They want to read people's personal stuff and see what people are doing. It's supposed to should be private, very private, even though it's on the internet. But the government's the one that's doing all of the prying. So and that's been revamped, and it's more higher than it's ever been. In that case, I don't even know how much our own government pays attention to the world, really, and instead of just sitting back not knowing and then going into something saying something stupid, really, that has nothing to do with anything, um like Joe Biden or something, but really, so this terrorist giving terrorist rights thing has got to stop. They do not have rights. People think that they have there's some constitution uh no right or something that terrorists have, and it's not true. It is not true. It is a lie. It is one of the biggest lies. They won't. There's no way they could ever prosecute anybody. They could try and throw it in the media and make it look like a big story or something. But there's if they don't have rights. So anyhow, so now to my other topic that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about why do black people vote Democrat, and a lot of them don't know. I'm not trying to make a racist thing out of this, because I believe there's a bit of that on both sides for sure. Back then, in the 1800s, anyways, them Republicans and Democrats, but the Republicans were the ones up north, Abraham Lincoln. Democrats were in the South, and they were for slavery, and they're who formed the Ku Klux Klan. So the KKK was formed out of the Southern Democrat Party. So I don't know how many people even know that, but it's the truth. Um, so I asked a friend of mine the other day why, and he says that they seem to be more uh, in tune with government programs and stuff that people need. Well, that's true. But then I had him thinking, he was like, when he was talking, he was actually thinking about what he was saying, because he works now and stuff, and he was looking at a perspective of having a job and having to pay taxes now, and actually making less money because now he's one of the people that are going to be paying people on welfare and whatever else they do. And this guy is my black friend Ben. So I'm not necessarily going to turn him Republican or anything, but I'm going to get him thinking. I'm going to make him really wonder why. I'm going to ask I have an auntie too. Um, I'm going to ask her when I get the chance. And be like, not anybody else around. I'm going to ask her, how come you guys vote Democrat all the time? I'm going to ask her straight up. That's one more person. Then I'll vote. Then I'll ask some other people. But I have friends too that are, what do you say, black, half white, half black, stuff like that. They registered as a Democrat but vote Republican. They just don't want people to, you want to talk about it really to people, unless the people know, and then they can express themselves without having to worry about somebody talking something stupid or something. But so why do blacks vote Democrat all the time? And why I vote Republican is I think that they give people a better chance to have more better opportunity in the world, and maybe not so greedy with the money. If you look at the scale, this is a true statement. It's like biblical. It's like out of the Bible. You earn a certain amount of money, you give 10% of what you earn to a good cause. I give it to some kind of good cause, and for God, I would probably try to pray about it and then do something real worthy of the money that I give it myself. And most Republicans are known for not being told, have to be told to give of themselves. They just give average of 10% or more. And if you look, you can look this up on the internet too, and you can see the scale of how much liberals give of themselves, and it's down to about 1%. So, anyways, other people's money we're talking about here, and we're talking about greedy people getting richer and whatever, instead of just everybody being fair about it and trying to work it out right. If you had this communist thing come down, let's see, they said that the wrong people were not in power when they tried the communist thing. That's why it failed. But really, what happened was communism didn't work because people didn't have to be, if they were really on the ball and really fair with one another, they wouldn't have to go to this communist measure anyways. And then it came down to people getting more than other people anyways, even though everybody was supposed to be an equal society, like even like your king or your leader or whoever would get the same ration as everybody else, and you'd split it up evenly throughout the land. Everybody's supposed to get the same amount, but we know that it doesn't work that way. So they want to argue capitalism all the time like it's this evil, jackal that's gonna come after you or something. And it is just not true. It's the shit that we were all born and raised to know. We all understand this system. So to go to a different system would be completely wild, but that's like what they want us to go to. And the more you get more people to fall out, I think it's not like looking kind of up to the future, really. They kind of fall out and like, down and depressed, maybe kind of, but they get complacent with the fact that we're all here to serve a purpose or whatever it is, and we have some kind of goal or something. But they stayed negative and down, and that's how I look at what the Democrats do to people in particular. I don't think that there's very much enthusiasm there as far as getting to a higher position or a better place for yourself personally. It's no, it's a dead end beating that horse, that dead horse, you know. So I still don't know why more and more people are waking up though. Still like to maybe continue this discussion some other time. I see I got no views on there, so I'll have to do this download here. I do these live videos so that I don't have to waste my camera. This is what I would normally do it on, but I have a really nice little laptop here. It's got a built-in camera, webcam in it, so I'm able to pull this off like this, and it'll save video for me. So I appreciate having this ability or whatever. So it's really awesome. But anyhow, those are up for discussion. I don't know. Some point in time, somebody might leave a comment or something and say something. But I'm really kind of interested. I don't want people thinking about this stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I'll have the next topic come out shortly. Either sometime later today or tomorrow. I'll do another video real quick. I'm gonna keep doing them, just different topics I want to discuss and throw out there. All right, thanks.